Welcome to the first 3 mini-boss strategy guide and breakdown. The 3 bosses covered today are Leader Shigenori Yamauchi, General Naomori Kawarada, and the Chained Ogre. Included is a how-to build the Flame Vent Shinobi weapon, as it is important for taking down the Chained Ogre. Timestamps in the description. Before we move on, don't forget to leave a like if you found this video helpful, subscribe for more weekly guides, and leave a comment below for any tips that I missed or suggestions for future videos. The first mini-boss you'll come up against is Leader Shi-ya. His location is in the tutorial area after you've met the Divine Heir and received your sword. You will battle through 7 soldiers, consisting of 5 novices and 2 masters. Now on to the movesets. His first combo is going to be a right shoulder swing. He can also follow this up with a left uppercut, followed by an overhead strike. Other moves are going to be the overhead strike, left to right sweep, and a jump into an overhead strike. Finally, he has 2 health bars, and the loot he gives is a pellet. The difficulty of this boss fight is actually rather low. I was able to focus on parrying his attacks and being aggressive. At this point in the game, it's more important to become comfortable with mechanics such as parrying rather than attempting to dodge out of the way of his sword strikes. The length of his sword makes judging the distance you need to dodge rather difficult, and bosses in this game have fairly good tracking, so that way you will not be able to dodge many attacks that come your way. Now, the next boss is General Naomori. He is located in the Ashina outskirts, just north of the idol there. His movesets is very similar to Leader Shi-ya. It has a right shoulder sweep, followed by a left sweep, or a left uppercut. He will not make any combos more than 2 moves, so this gives you an opportunity to strike and to break his momentum. He also has a strong overhead strike and a weak overhead strike, a jumping overhead strike, an unblockable grab, an unblockable left sweep, and an unblockable thrust. He has 2 health bars, and the loot he gives is a prayer bead and a gourd seed. This boss fight will further re-emphasize the use of parrying as a mechanic. The best way to deal with this general is to be upfront, aggressive, and parry his attacks. Getting his posture low is actually easier than attempting to do simple vitality damage. I do not recommend using any tools in this boss fight, although you can get the loaded shuriken in the area prior. While I emphasize the use of parrying as a mechanic with this boss fight, you still have to learn to dodge unblockable moves. In order to dodge his left or right sweep, simply jump over it. To dodge the grab, just simply dodge backwards away from the general. And to dodge the thrust, dodge either to the left or to the right, or double back. It's very rare for the general to actually use the thrust if you are highly aggressive in pursuing him in close quarters combat. I will now show you my full successful fight with the general. The next boss is the Chained Ogre. Before you face this boss, I highly recommend you get the Flame Vent. The Flame Vent is a shinobi weapon that will apply a 4-second stun to the Chained Ogre whenever it hits. 2 of the items you need will be located directly on the path to the Ogre. The first one you'll need is the Young Lord's Bell Charm from an old hag sitting in a dilapidated building. The black gunpowder is the next item. You must defeat a cannon enemy, which is located on a raised level and will fire at the player whenever he becomes in range. It's very difficult to miss on the way to the ogre. Simply do a stealth run around or charge through like I will and kill him. The next item you'll need is the Flame Barrel. To get that, you'll have to go to the Atari Estate. To do that, return the Young Lord's Bell Charm to the sculptor. He'll instruct you to put it at the statue of Buddha. This will unlock going to the Atari Estate. The level design of the Atari Estate is actually rather linear, and I will show you the area that you will need to look on screen now. There are multiple enemies in that area that it can be rather difficult to defeat. Use the buildings to your advantage and do a hit and run style to avoid many enemies grouping up on you. Attempting to block multiple enemies with their attacks interlaced with each other will soon become impossible. Also, there's only one archer in the entire area, and he is displaced from the entirety of the crew around you. Once you have gotten the flame barrel, simply return to the sculptor, and he will fit the new prosthetic. Now you are ready to take on the Chained Ogre. The Chained Ogre is located near the outskirts wall stairwell idol. In order to get to him, you'll have to go north from the idol. He is located actually chained up along a set of stairs. It is highly recommended that you take out the 2 guys at the bottom of the stairs first, before the fight starts. That way, you do not have to deal with them and have enough room to move around the ogre, as you will need it. The movesets of the ogre are as such. He has a jump kick, a short grab, a shoulder fall, a front slam, a left then right kick, and sometimes followed by a shoulder fall, and a tackle. Great care should be taken with all the moves, as they can deal tremendous amounts of damage, and the unblockable ones almost being insta-killed at the beginning of the game. After a short slam, you can grapple hook to the ogre himself. From here, the rest of the fight primarily revolves around you dodging his attacks. Do not attempt to parry his attacks. Get used to his attack patterns and dodge. Now also, if you see him about to tackle, you can also jump over the tackle. But in general, 2 rolls back is sufficient to dodge his attack. In between each of his attacks, while predictable, there will be a 1 to 2 second window for you to jump in and deal damage. The Chained Ogre is an elongated fight. It takes a great deal of stamina, and of course, the coming video of my successful run is also significantly longer than the others. He has 2 health bars, and his sword doesn't deal very much damage. Use the flame vent interspersed in the fight to give you about 4-second openings to deal damage to the ogre. The loot you get from him will be a prayer bead and a shinobi medicine rank 1. The shinobi rank medicine 1 will improve the effectiveness of your healing items. The difficulty of this fight is quite medium. It's elongated, but after you've ran through the trial enough, you'll be able to recognize the tells for all his moves and you'll be able to dodge them. And from there, it's a matter of being able to whittle down his health enough to actually kill him.